You know that moment? Someone says something rude, and your mind just goes blank. Well, we're about to break down a toolkit that's designed to handle exactly those moments. And I promise, by the end of this, you'll have the tools to make sure you're never left speechless again.
Oh, we've all been there, right? Someone lets loose with a little jab disguised as a joke, or maybe a direct cutting remark, and it just lands. The world kind of stops for a second. And in that awful silence, you just stand there. Hours later, of course, you're replaying what you wish you had said.
All right, so let's start by really dissecting that very specific, very frustrating feeling, the freeze. It's something pretty much everyone has experienced, but when it's happening, it feels incredibly personal, like you're the only one.
Now, here's the most important thing I want you to get. This is a total reframe of the whole experience. Freezing up is not a failure of your character. It is not a sign that you're weak or a coward. It's simply a lack of training. You went quiet because nobody ever gave you the script for that scene. We are going to fix that right now.
Okay, so to respond effectively, you first have to understand the game that's actually being played. Because rude behavior, it's hardly ever random. It's a calculated test, even if it's subconscious, that we can call social probing.
So this is the core concept right here, social probing. Think of it this way. The rude comment itself, that's just the tool. It's the bait. The real goal is to see how you react. They are gathering data on you, trying to figure out what you will tolerate. They're literally mapping the edges of your boundaries to see if they can be pushed.
And in that tiny window of time right after the comment lands, what we call the reaction window, they are scanning you. A little flinch, a nervous laugh, maybe looking away. Every single one of these responses gives them information. It tells them if you're someone who can be pushed around or if you're someone who's going to hold their ground.
Okay, so you know the game. Now we need the moves. We're going to walk through 5 incredibly powerful, calm and controlled techniques to respond to rudeness. These are designed to make sure you are always the one in control. Here they are, your new toolkit: the repeat, the pattern, the pivot, the spotlight, and finally, the stillness. Each one is for a slightly different situation, but they're all built on the exact same foundation: you maintaining your calm.
First up, the repeat. When someone says something sharp, our instinct is to get defensive. Don't. Instead, just pause. Look at them calmly and ask, "Can you say that again?" See, rude comments thrive on speed and surprise. They're like these little hit-and-run attacks. When you make someone repeat it, you slow everything down. The second time they say it, it doesn't sound witty anymore. It just sounds mean. And trust me, everyone in the room knows it.
Now this one is perfect for that person who loves to hide their jabs behind a just kidding smile. Don't argue about the single comment. Instead, you address the behavior. By saying this, you're signaling, "Hey, I see the pattern, I've been paying attention." Suddenly, it's not just an isolated joke, it's a documented behavior, and that is so much harder to laugh off. Technique 3, the pivot, is a total game changer. It shifts the whole dynamic. A lot of the time, rudeness isn't really about you at all. It's just misplaced emotion, their stress or insecurity spilling out. By pivoting past their comment and asking about them, you do one of two things. You either show compassion, which can totally disarm them, or you expose their aggression for what it is while you remain the calm, centered person in the room. You know those people who need an audience? They perform their rudeness? Well, this phrase takes the spotlight they've aimed at you and turns it right back on them. You're not critiquing the comment itself. You're critiquing their decision to say it in public. And all of a sudden, the audience isn't laughing along with them. They're sitting there evaluating the speaker's judgment. And just like that, the performance is over.
Okay, now this might just be the most powerful and honestly the hardest one to pull off. It's strategic silence. After a rude comment, you say nothing, but you don't look away, you don't fidget. You just hold their gaze with this calm, unwavering stillness. Most people absolutely cannot handle that. Your lack of a reaction creates a vacuum, and they will rush to fill it, usually by over-explaining, backpedaling, and revealing just how uncomfortable they are. You win by doing nothing at all.
So what if they just won't stop? What if they keep pushing? Well, you have a final move, the clean exit. You state, calmly, "I'm not going to keep engaging with this," and you leave. Now listen, this is not losing. This is refusing to play a rigged game. By withdrawing your engagement, you're essentially turning off the engine that was fueling their behavior in the first place.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. Because all of these tactics are great, but the real victory here isn't about shutting someone down. It's about something much deeper and much more important for you. And this is the absolute key to everything we've talked about. You can't control other people. You will never be able to stop someone from being rude. But what these tools give you is absolute control over the one thing that actually matters: yourself. The real win isn't some clever comeback. It's developing an unshakable inner calm.
So stop focusing on what you can't control. You can't control their words or their weird, misplaced emotions. Focus entirely on what you can control: your response, your inner state, and your own dignity. That right there, that's where all of your power is.
You know, this isn't some new idea. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius understood this almost 2,000 years ago. It's not about what happens to you, it's all about how you choose to meet that moment. Your response, that's what defines you.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. We know rude people are a fact of life. That's a given. You can't change that. But you can change, permanently, who you are when they show up. You are no longer the person who freezes. You're the person who stays still.